something.
Hey, it is January 26th, 2022. You found the Casual Hour, a podcast ostensibly about video games, but mostly about righting the wrong. I'm Bobby Pease. Joining me as always, the gamer on the go, Chase Kinnicky, and the gamer that should go, Johnny Amizich. How are you all doing?
I'm fine.
I'm good.
I'll go.
What's the wrong that needs to be written?
Hey, last week...
Is it Johnny?
Johnny's a constant wrong.
Sure, thank you.
We've all talked offline, and I want to clear the air on something before we get too much into the show tonight, if that's okay with you two. You don't know that I'm going to do this, but last week, Chase had worked incredibly hard on putting together a segment for our deep dive. And Johnny, to the surprise of both of us, actually did pretty good at something. And it was a situation where I'm running the entirety of what you're watching right now from my seat.
Mm-hmm.
And oh wow, we are swapped. I need to fix that.
Yeah. You're going to apologize to yourself now.
I will.
That's what happened.
But what I will say is this: is that I became pretty frustrated with a lot of the technology, and I did not fully participate. By fully, I mean at all, in what Chase was doing. And I think it maybe came across to you all the way it was intended, which was not great. And I disrespected what Chase had done, and I feel really bad about that. I put Johnny in a very unfortunate spot, which I'm not sorry about. But what I want to say is we're all very good friends here. We all care very much about each other. We
don't talk outside this podcast.
Ever. And
we don't talk to you outside this podcast, John.
There was a few of our friends that had tuned in last week to participate and be a part of our show, and it just wasn't a good feeling for a lot of people involved, and it was all because of my actions, and I want to say I'm sorry about that, and that we're all good here on our end, and that we are moving forward in a big way, and Chase did a lot of good work on that, and so apologies to anybody.
Yeah, that was fun.
for you, yes. Let me fix my face and move my face really quick here, just to not confuse anybody.
There's nothing you can do to fix your face.
I knew there was something weird about Johnny winning something, and it just so happened.
I'm good at trivia.
You did. You did very well.
I have
very well.
Look, I mean, it's exactly the kind of thing I would be good at because it has no actual utility, other than when you're doing trivia. But Bobby, it's all good, man.
But yeah, I just wanted to make a bit of a statement on how things went last week, and that you two are super important to me, and I'm really happy that we're doing this, and I'm sorry that there was some disruption in it last week.
Live and you learn.
You live and you do what you can to learn. So let's talk about learning. Tonight, we're going to learn about video games. Something that we talk about every week. We're going to be breaking down quite a bit. I've got two new games to talk about. One that's probably going to ruffle some feathers, at least somebody's. And then Johnny's put together a segment for the Casual Report where we're going to talk about some of the news that's been happening around the show. But is there any other...
And I'm just not gonna participate in that section. I'm just gonna...
He's just gonna move on. I haven't even looked what it's gonna be. Do we have anything to talk about here?
I looked at it. You're fine.
Okay. So, well, why don't we stop being nice to each other and get into what we do best?
Is this nice?
Yeah.
You wouldn't know nice if it slapped you across the face, Johnny.
Oh, man.
They call me nice, in case you didn't know. Anyway, Chase.
Yes.
What you been playing, man?
I've been playing some new video games, and by new video games, I mean old video games.
Sounds on brand.
Yeah, it really does, doesn't it? I played SNK versus Capcom Card Fighters Clash.
Say that after a few hard seltzers.
Oh, yeah. Which is a Neo Geo Pocket Color game, I believe. I never owned a Neo Geo, unfortunately. A wrong that I must right. But somebody, this game showed up on the Nintendo Switch eShop recently, just kind of got stealth dropped and some people on Twitter were talking about it, and I looked at it and went, "That looks like Pokemon trading card game for the Game Boy Color." And then somebody on
son
Twitter,
of a bitch. I'm in.
yeah, and then somebody on Twitter was like, "Hey, it's like a Pokemon trading card game on Game Boy Color." Word.
Leonardo, you had my attention, or you had my curiosity. Now you have my attention.
Yeah, exactly. So I immediately purchased that. I can't remember how much
price tag on
it. 15, 20. It's not. It wasn't a lot. Maybe it was less than that.
John,
but it's actually
sound okay? Audio good?
Oh yeah, should have checked that.
Keep
I imagine Turkish would have said something, but it's actually 2 games in one. There is an SNK version and there is a Capcom version. And really, I think it only affects the starting decks that you get and maybe some of the people you play. But it really is kind of like the Pokemon trading card game, where you are walking around an overworld area, you're talking to people, you play them in card game matches, and when you win, you get extra cards to manage your decks with. But that structure is basically the same. But the card game itself is way different and less interesting, I would say. It feels like there's less going on from a strategic standpoint. That being said, I really, really like the art on all the cards. It just looks like everybody just looks really cool. There are a bunch of Capcom characters that I recognize. There are a bunch of SNK characters that I do not recognize, and some that I do. But it's just really cool to see them all rendered in this. It's kind of like the Puzzle Fighter style,
where
SNK,
it's
a little chibi. SNK is I don't remember what the acronym stands for, but it's like that. They were a game developer publisher similar to Capcom. They made games like the King of Fighters. They did a lot of fighting game stuff, which is probably why you haven't heard of them. That's not really your genre. And They SNK made the Neo Geo and the Neo Geo Pocket Color, which is why all their stuff shows up on that. They were pretty prolific at a time, and then I don't know if they've died or if they got bought. I can't remember.
Oh, Microsoft has them now?
Almost assuredly.
Good.
They might have actually sold to Capcom.
Oh,
because they did have a lot of. Capcom versus SNK is a fighting game. They have this card games that they made.
They are still their own company.
Okay, but just not as prominent as they were before. For sure.
And the game is $8 on
$8. $8 for 2 games, which are essentially the same game, but it's cool. And the games even have they are 4x3. Because they were originally on a 4x3 screen. But they also come with a bunch of backgrounds that are Neo Geo pockets.
Oh, the Zack Snyder screen.
Yeah, exactly.
He loves a Neo Geo.
You can switch out the borders, though.
It's the way it was meant to be watched.
That's fair.
But there are a ton of different styles of the Neo Geo that you can swap through. And then there's also just like a black background, and you can zoom in and out if you just want it taking up as much screen space as possible, which is what I want. Anyway, I like a lot of what it's doing. I don't love the card game, and that's kind of disappointing. Is
it more of a card game than like an overworld type experience?
Yeah. You're really just walking from place to place and talking to little pixelized people, and they're oh yeah, I want to play some cards, and then you immediately go in the card game. It really does feel like the Pokemon.
We're gonna quick look this over the weekend, right?
I'd love to. Sure.
Awesome.
Yeah. I just think that right now, and again, I'm very early. They give you a starter deck that doesn't really have a lot of synergistic cards in it, because some of you basically there's 2 kinds of cards. You get character cards and you get action cards. Character cards are Ryu, Ken, Chun-Li, Mega Man, Zero, Proto Man, that kind of stuff. And those are all on the Capcom side, obviously. You'll get like Terry Bogard and other people from the SNK side. And those cards have attack power. Like your attack power and your defense are in one number. They just call it BP or battle power. So let's say Ryu has 700. and you get into a fight with somebody, and Bobby, it's actually a lot like Inscription, where you're doing damage to them and they're doing damage to you.
Oh yeah.
And it's taking away your power out of that. So when they hit Ryu for 500, he hits them for 700, but now his 700 goes down to 200. So his next attack is only going to do 200. He doesn't have an attack and a defense stat, which I guess isn't what Inscription does.
What a game, right?
And we haven't even seen the half of it, man.
I know.
There's a lot more to it that we didn't even see, and we still love it.
I think about that game a lot still. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. So you have those character cards, and then there are action cards, which you have to spend another currency called SP that you get by playing character cards.
Got it.
And those cards can do things like, hey, knock 200 BP off an opponent's card, or if an opponent tries to block you, you gain so much BP, or hey, just draw 2 cards, like a bill from Pokemon. So you have those kinds of cards, and then also your character cards some of them have abilities on them, which let them do different things at different phases. Like, hey, when this comes on the board, you can take a card off the opponent's side. You can make that go back to their hand, or you have to discard something to play this card.
Oh shit.
And it's okay. It just and again, I don't think I have a deck that has a bunch of cards that synergize very well right now. It is the starter deck you get. I don't have a lot of things that play well with each other. There's also this idea that you can back up characters. So
what does that mean?
Basically you just give, if you can only have 3 characters out at once, and you can play another card as a backup to one of these characters that basically just grants them bonus BP. But they have to be friendly. Like, there are certain characters that can only back up other characters. Like,
got it.
Like Zangief can back up Birdie, but Birdie might not be able to back up Zangief. They have specific characters
pairings and things
that
they have to go. Okay.
Mm-hmm. It has some interest, but I find it's at this point in the game, which is really early. It's just too easy to steamroll an opponent. You just keep playing character cards. You put out the stuff with the highest BP possible, and you just kind of keep wailing away, and eventually you're going to win. And I don't know. I don't think it's the most interesting. I'd rather just play Pokemon.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You're just gonna fire that up on your.
It doesn't have a terrible look to it. Looking at some.
No, it looks great. Yeah. It absolutely does look great, and it does. Like, again, it reminds me of the Pokemon trading card game and just the way it looks and a lot of the way it plays outside of the card game itself. I'm just not having the best time, but I'm going to keep trying and see if I can get some new cards, and if I can make a deck that is a little bit more synergistic and has a little bit more going on, and maybe there are cards that I just haven't even seen yet that really change up the way the game plays. Awesome. So that's fine. And again, for $8, I think it's a pretty good deal. Yeah, if you want to go out and check a pretty classic game that you probably haven't heard of before.
You're not out too much.
Yeah.
For that.
I'm going to give a very quick update on Super Robot Wars 30. I'm sorry. I've been playing a lot of that game, though. I'm really enjoying it. I do have a little bit of an issue with the way it's structured, where you can pick from a lot of different missions at any one time, instead of going through the very linear path that the other Super Robot Wars games work on. Which is nice, because I can choose to go and play a Gundam themed mission, because I know I'm going to get a Gundam themed character if I do that, instead of here's a bunch of anime that I don't know or don't give a shit about, and I don't really want to play there, or I don't want to prioritize playing their missions first. Which, if you're playing one of the previous games, you just play the missions that come in front of you, and you don't really get a choice of who you recruit when. The problem with that is that you don't really get much of a story out of the deal. Super Robot Wars 30 says, hey, you're just kind of this autonomous group. We'll give you the freedom to kind of go wherever you want and do whatever you want. Like, okay, that's really just a justification for me to play random missions whenever I want. and that's all it is. You just go to a place. Here's a really condensed, small piece of story, and you're not really gonna think about that again because you're gonna go off and go do a different small piece of story. And sometimes they'll come back around. There are main story quests that you have to complete. So there is at least some kind of story going on, but for the most part, it just feels, especially because you are literally traveling around the world and the solar system at different times. So it's like, hey, I'm just going to pop over to Rome and do this mission, and now I think I'm going to go to the moon, and now I'm going to go over to Jupiter, and now I'm going to come back to California, and now I'm going to go, and it's like, it doesn't fucking matter. It just... There's no sense of place. There's no sense of progression in that way because I'm just popping all over the place and it doesn't really matter. And that's kind of silly. But for the extra freedom that you get of the missions, I think it's all right.
Already kind of a silly game to begin with.
Absolutely it's silly. It's just this seems extra silly.
I have a question and I have some commentary, robot-related commentary.
Love it.
Which would you like first?
Let's hear a question.
Is this the best the series has been?
I would say objectively, yes, but in my opinion, I've liked other Super Robot Wars games more. And I think that has to do more with the cast and which characters are in it rather than the gameplay itself.
Got it. Okay. Commentary. What I would say is this is not to derail what we're talking about by any stretch, but they did the Icarus update for the Dyson Sphere program, which is 100% all about mech customization, and I could desperately use... I thought it was just going to be like, oh, there's like new mech styles. Oh no. And knowing that you two like put together some models of these mechas, like... Sure. Like every single, like it is overwhelming when you open it up, and there are 3 new body types. So I'd be curious to know, like, is there any inspiration from some of the robots that you have in these games, or from other entries into the series that you're familiar with? And the other piece would be, how the fuck do you put together a mecha? And that's going to be something we can do.
You know, a lot of patience,
dude. Like this is. It looks like one of those undone posters of paint by numbers, like every single thing. And you can swap. It's overwhelming for me, so I'll need to borrow some of that robot expertise.
We postponed the quick look of
that update specifically.
For this? Okay. So I look forward to seeing more of that game, and maybe I can give you a couple.
Maybe you'll get into something now because it is a mech focused, or I should say they call it the Icarus. That's the name of your mecha.
Let's not go that far.
Okay. All right. Fair.
I am at least interested in seeing. I actually saw a trailer for a new game. I don't really want to talk about it because I want it to be more of something that I'll just talk about on one of the previews. I don't remember if it comes out in February or March, but it's a mech strategy game. And I'm like, I'm already playing one of those, but this one looks really cool too. Did you send us
that, Johnny? Was that something that you shared with us?
No, Johnny hasn't shown us this one.
Okay.
He might have shown us a different one, but this was...
Yeah,
this was
there's at least one mech strategy game I feel like I've seen recently.
You said something like it would be good casual Mondays or something.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, related to Super Robot Wars 30, it's doing what seems to be exceedingly well on Steam. Like,
I think it's like overwhelmingly positive, right?
It's very positive. Over 3,000 reviews.
Damn.
90% positive.
It's a lot.
So who knows? Maybe we'll continue getting these games.
Could be.
In a Western release.
That's great to hear. I do wonder how it is actually selling, though. I mean, sentiment obviously sounds pretty high from what you're talking about, but that also surprises me, though, because I think this is the densest game they've made in terms of mechanics, and I could see that turning off a lot of people. I remember when I first played Super Robot Wars X in 2018. That was my first one. There were like 2 or 3 different mechanics that I wasn't using at all. And I didn't even know that I was fucking up until halfway through the game. And I went, oh, wow, I should have been using these things the whole time. And it opened doors for me. So when I went back and played it this last year for my YouTube channel. It was really interesting to go in and have more of a veteran idea of what's happening and to kind of not necessarily break that game because I wasn't playing on a very hard difficulty,
Sure.
but to play that game at its most efficient point. That was pretty cool.
Its all-time peak on Steam was 16,817 players.
Okay, so I mean, not huge, but this is a really niche thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And also for Bandai Namco, like the work was done. You had this,
Right.
you already had it translated for the Southeast Asian market, so it's really just whatever licensing deals you had to make to bring it over to America. And I wonder if 16,000+ is enough to offset those costs.
I mean, that's concurrent. That's
true. That's also concurrent. And again, it's on lots of places. There are still people like me out there who I'm sure went to PlayAsia to get the Switch version, or did some eShop shenanigans like what I actually did and get the Switch version, which I'm really enjoying. Like the Switch runs it just fine. It's not the most intensive game in the world, so I'm not surprised by that, but works great. Anyway, if you thought we were done with dumb anime bullshit, man, I got news for you. We ain't. We just started.
Are we ever?
Yesterday was a very important day, guys.
I love it.
Genshin Impact.
I fucking love it. I fucking love it.
Huh?
I
thought
love it.
done.
I love it so much that I say we fucking fire it up on Monday night.
I mean, I'd do it.
I would do it. I love this game.
Okay, well, let's do it.
Yeah.
Genshin Impact, a game that I was kind of done with. I thought it was okay, but the monetary stuff was rough. Pulling characters. I mean, they give you a decent amount of characters just by playing the game, but those characters suck, and the characters you get through the gacha stuff is where you want to go, but also their exchange rates are pretty bad, and it's rough. They're all the percentages just are bad, it seems.
So what changed?
Anyway, nothing's changed really. There was one character that they added at one point. I can't remember when.
Aloy, say her fucking name. It's Aloy.
That's not.
She's a fucking queen. Chase, say her name. Damn it.
They brought in a character named Ganyu, who was very popular because she was extremely good, and also super cute because she's
there it is.
Blue hair.
There it is.
Lady.
Cute anime lady.
She's a cute anime.
The internet was horny for Ganyu.
One of the cuter ones, I would say, in my humble opinion. Anyway, once her banner was over, and I was not playing Genshin when her banner started because I was kind of done with that game. They haven't brought her back for a year plus. It's like, Jesus, like she was an extremely popular character, and other characters have gotten reruns that came out after her, and I'm over here going, where fuck, I missed out on the one character I wanted. Are they ever gonna re-release her? They re-released her yesterday, and I spent a little money, not a lot of money. I was actually surprised. I got her with my first chunk of money that I spent. So I mean,
are we gonna give her a little run for her money? Literally, Monday night.
Probably. Sure, yeah, I'll absolutely have Ganyu. I've put like all my resources into her to make her as good as I can make her right now. But the thing is, and I told you guys over a text once I got her, is like I feel a little bit like a dog who caught a mail truck, in that I don't know what the fuck I'm doing now.
Well,
it's like, hey, great, I've got Ganyu. That's the character I like. How do I play Genshin Impact? What is this game about? How do I play this?
You know what?
What am I doing?
I said it, later last year, I guess at this point in time. I went back to that game and absolutely adored my time with it. And I think that it has a stigma on it because of the gacha mechanics, but that game fucking rules, man. Like, that game is very well done. It does absolutely want your money, but you can play that game without it. And of course, they're gonna make it hard to do that because it's a free fucking game. But I've legitimately never seen a game that robust with so many systems for free. And the fact that out of the gate, you can play it on your PlayStation, on your PC, or your fucking mobile phone, and it all syncs up. Like, they know what there is a story to be told there for that game, and it's just really fucking fun. Like, you can spend so much time questing. If you're into that sort of anime, there's a lot of stuff there that you could probably enjoy. They do a good job, like, from what I've been observing, the seasonal rotation of stuff. Like, they've got people chasing characters, much like yourself, much like I did with Aloy. And there's a lot of things to celebrate about that game. And I look back at what it's done, and it fucking stuck the landing. Like, I think it's done a really good job. Like, I'm like legitimately excited to play that game Monday night.
Yeah. I mean, I did put a few hours into it once I got Ganyu. I was like, okay, now I've put my resources into her. I also got some new fire mage girl who seems kind of good.
Okay.
So I was using her a little bit too, because in Genshin you have a team of 4, and Ganyu's ice, so I needed non-ice people. So I've got a group that I'm kind of cool hanging around with, and I'm building up, and I ran around and did a couple quests and realized, shit, I'm still so extremely early in this game. I barely unlocked the second area, which is the more Chinese style area that
really
I think is like built around a big tree. It's extremely cool.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And it looks way different from the original area.
Yep.
And I know there are even further areas past that I haven't even seen at all. So it's kind of exciting that hey, I can go explore more of this game, and also I have the character that I want. And also, she's really fucking good.
Yeah, dude, like
she's an archer. So when she shoots her arrows, she actually can charge them up twice. And when it gets charged up twice and it hits an enemy, the arrow just splits and it does a bunch of AoE damage. And all of it is incredibly strong. Like, she's got a lot of stuff that just stacks up and crits a lot. The big problem is when I go and I try to look up, what's a good build for Ganyu? What should I be trying to build to? Everybody's talking about incredible end game loot stuff that I have not even touched. I don't even know the first
currency,
thing about these
all
things.
That shit, yeah.
And I'm just trying to go, is this bow okay for her? And people are like, no, that bow sucks. You should get this other bow that you can only get from a battle pass 2 years ago. And like, okay, I'm not that into Genshin Impact. I just like shooting arrows with my ice.
People are into Genshin Impact.
Yeah, man.
They really are.
I see that sub for that get like upvoted to the front page of Reddit all the time.
It's like that game's got some significant staying power, and it's well earned. Like, I'm not here to say that it shouldn't. Like, that game is very fucking good. It's a good game.
Yeah. This is all to say, even though I'm very excited that I got my anime waifu, I'm not planning on getting way into Genshin Impact.
Nobody ever plans on that.
Well, for sure. But I'm gonna just kind of play. I'm gonna enjoy some of the story. I'm gonna have my ice archer queen shooting shit, and once I'm done, I think I'll be done. But there's also a lot of fucking game there, so we'll see how much I dip into it.
Awesome.
But that's basically all I've been playing. I've been playing one more thing, but I'm gonna wait for Johnny to talk about it before I jump in on it. So.
To recap, Chase, you talked about SNK versus Capcom Card Fighters Clash. You talked about Super Robot Wars 30, and you talked about Genshin Impact. Before I hop into my games, I just want to say I've been playing God of War and Monster Hunter Rise on PC. They both look really good and completely have changed my love for those games. Check them out if you have the means to. They're on the platform they deserve to be on. With that being said, I'm also not going to spend a ton of time on this game because we got a quick look up this week, and I would just encourage you all to go and watch that, where Chase and I break down Nobody Saves the World. But I will say that this game has surprised me quite a bit. I thought it looked cool when I saw some stuff from it. This is that new joint from Drinkbox, and it is an action RPG dungeoning game where you are a pantsless nobody that
That's me.
mistakenly shows up in a world with amnesia. You discover a magical wand that gives you the ability to transform into multiple forms that each have meters and abilities that you are manifesting and upgrading and playing with. I would say this is a game for anybody who has had any sort of appreciation and fascination for Zelda, specifically A Link to the Past. It is, I don't want to call it mindless because I don't think that comes across derogatory, but this is a game that you could absolutely treat almost like an idle game in a way. It's very much more active, but it is a great game to throw a podcast onto and to just go into this world and watch meters fill up. There's a lot of treadmills to walk on, but they feel like the treadmills that you would see in what was that band OK Go music video, where they have such a flow and finesse to them that they all work together, even though there's a lot of them like being utilized. I love this game. I think about it quite a bit when I'm not playing it. I think it's incredibly sharp, very witty, mechanically tight, and I really appreciate that they poke fun at all these absurd characters. So like instead of a mage, there's a magician, full on rabbit out of the hat. But they've seemingly found ways to make those mechanics work well. The one thing that I find very interesting is while you're filling up the meters for your quest, you have one that's for your overall character, but then there's one that's for each one of your forms. But then you can break down the abilities that you unlock and synergize them on other builds. So if I like the knight, but I also like the poison from the rat, I can take the poison from the rat, apply it to the knight, and now I've got the ability to use a sharpness attack and a poison attack. And that's super important because the game later introduces template matching for the enemy types. So your forms have abilities that have to be utilized to do damage on certain enemies. And it sucks because you might have somebody who's leveled up, and it's a grading system, some F to, I believe, S, that with each unlock, you get new abilities that you can map to your face buttons. But once you unlock it for a character, it's in a pool that you can then go and say, well, I'm going to take that over here and utilize this. So I've got a horse now that can do a horse form that does poison damage, and it's pretty brutal. And I really appreciate the silliness of this game, that like it just fully leans into it. Like we know, like, it's very self-aware, and that's a delicacy. Like I think a game like Borderlands is also self-aware, but this goes way too far in one direction where go ahead.
It's a fine line between the like humorous and this is
absolutely
awful and cringy.
I would say if the Guacamelee games, I think, as troublesome as they might have been at times for maybe, cribbing too much onto a stereotype, they do a pretty good job, I think, overall with like addressing humor. And I think the humor in Guacamelee, and I haven't played a lot of 2, but the first one especially, you can see the inspirations here on how things are written out. Now, Severed, their other game that they put out, I don't think has a lot of the humor to it. It's just a really stylistic, cool game and experience. But this can also be played co-op, which I'd love to check out, because then you can really start to strategize with your teammate on like, okay, I'm running, because I think there's only 4 variants to like attack types. So then you could essentially like have builds that would have all of that. So some of these dungeons require timing and all that other stuff, but highly replayable, highly customizable. If you are into managing quests and meters and customization, like this should scratch a lot of itches for you. We did record a quick look for this. It is currently on our YouTube page, which is youtube.com/casual hour. You can go and check that out right now. But it's on Game Pass and Xbox. It's a fantastic addition to the already incredible lineup for Game Pass. You should go check it out for sure.
Bobby, I was kind of down on it when we were doing a quick look, and I think that was mostly because I kind of wanted more out of it. That when you were switching these forms And switching forms doesn't cost you anything.
No.
So you can kind of just switch freely around. And I was looking for more of ways to combo. And it seems like the way they have the combos set up, as you were talking about, is that you would eventually unlock kind of like a passive buff that would be associated with that character. So you'd have that poison from the rat, and then you could apply that passive to other characters as you play with them. And I guess I was looking for just something a little bit more active in that. Hey, I'm gonna take down somebody's shield by even I mean, just because we were talking about it, like Genshin Impact, which
does a great job with that.
I can set somebody's shield on fire so their shield goes away. I can hit them with a water attack to give them the wet status,
right.
and then I can use an electro character to then you use some shock attack that will do more damage because they're already in the wet status. And this game wasn't doing that. And I'm not saying it has to, but the way that it has all these character classes, it especially because some of them do really unique things. Like you were using the knight, and every time the knight attacked, it would give you back some mana that you could use with the knight, but you could also use it to get back your mana and then switch to another form that might be able to use it in a better way.
Right.
And I was liking a lot of what that was doing. I just kind of wish that it had a little bit more encouragement.
You want that combo break pop. I mean, like I know that it died on the Vine, or even before it got picked from the Vine, whatever. But Anthem did a fantastic job of like even showing you like on screen like combo, like when you would do things. I
gotta write that down. Anthem did a fantastic job.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Just next, I will tell you about Stadia. But it's I can understand where that would be coming from. And when we did the quick look and where I'm at in the game right now, I think I'm like level 14 or 15, and I've seen stuff that goes up like 30 plus. And there's going to be modifiers that you'll start to get into, like one that we showed on there does, like everybody does 1,000 damage. So you take it, you give it, and it's basically like one hit kills. And like there's going to be things on these dungeons that happen. And all the dungeons have some procedural elements and can be replayed because you're getting these tokens, which are star wands that you use to unlock doors to go further into the story. It's a great game. I don't want to spend too much time talking about it. I'd really just say like, hey, go check out our quick look. Because
and also, like, just you did mention a thing that we didn't see in the quick look, which was, hey, this enemy had a shield where I needed to take it down with a specific type of damage that only certain forms could use. So I could see that being some of that combo. So maybe it's just we didn't see that in the quick look and it's there, or maybe it's lightly there somewhere in the game. But it does sound like it does have some of those mechanics in there, even if it's not the focus.
Yeah, there's some.
I just want to say, like, I was a little down on that game in the quick look, but I still want to have an open mind to it. And if it comes out something that's not an Xbox or a PC, I'd actually consider playing that game.
Totally. I think it's $24.99 if you don't have Game Pass, but you should totally play it on Game Pass. That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
On my list here, I've got not one, but 2 surprise games this week. I could have done more. Don't tempt me. I could have done more. But for the sake of time and respect for you two, I'm going to talk about one right now, which is a game called Reverie Knights Tactics. And
excuse me?
I know.
Sorry, you said a word that sounded
I know.
I would care about.
I believe that this game is available on Switch and PlayStation. I am playing this on PC right now. I am probably 3 to 4 hours into it. I just got my 3rd team member, and I guess the best way I could give you my hot take on it is it feels very much like a B-roll game. And I don't mean that to be like derogatory, but it certainly is showing some of its small team mechanics. I believe that a lot of these characters originated from a comic book. Like there's a limited run comic or a smaller comic that came out a couple years back, and these characters were featured in it. But this is, if you're into turn-based tactic RPG, this is absolutely one of those. I've heard it described as comfort food for fans of the genre. And I don't think it innovates in a lot of ways there, but I think it gives you some very palatable approaches to what the genre is.
Bobby, I'm looking at the Steam page of this, and the first thing I see is that it's 15% off right now, so you can get it for $21.
Also on Switch.
And that's helpful. The second thing is, man, this seems a little derogatory, and I'm sorry, but this seems like this art style has a real mobile game ad look to it.
Yeah. So
like a real I'm trying to think of a game right now. Like any of the ones that you'd see of like, I don't know, maybe like a Supercell kind of look.
Story.
Yeah, right. Yes. Something that has a guy making a face like on it.
Empire
like all the
Storm.
Yes. Empires of Stormy War. Yes.
I was pretty interested in it for a few reasons. Like I think it's got a pretty strong female protagonist, which, doesn't happen all the time. So I was curious about that.
Aurora, the ice spellcaster.
It is. And then you've got I think Bridget is her name, is the other girl, and she's a lot of fun. I like her writing quite a bit. There's no voiceover, as you might guess from the look of this thing. But there is a lot of text, and there is a morality system in it that will impact how the story unfolds. You can either choose chaos or order. And so choosing one of those will impact how people start to perceive you and what you do. But it does have some of the things that you would expect from a tactics game. There are synergized abilities that you can use with people. There's a lot of trappings on the environment, so using knockback abilities on top of that is going to be pretty imperative. There's some pretty helpful things I'm just recently getting into. So if you hover over it, it will go the length north and south, east and west of its origin point and shoot like a poison dart out. It's a plant. So I'm deep in the jungle right now doing this. It's got somewhat of a story to it that it's kind of forgettable, but they try really hard to do some pretty emotional writing with the story. The music's not terrible in it. It's very serviceable. I'm still on the fence on where I land with it. I've seen a lot of middling scores for this, in the 60 to 70%, the 3 out of 5. And I would say that's probably where it's at.
Middle of the road.
Yeah. I don't think that you should rush to get this game, but if you are a huge fan of the genre, and you've got the 20 some dollars, whatever it is laying around, maybe pick it up. As Chase mentioned, it's currently 15% off, but I think that there's something interesting here. I'm going to quick look this with you this weekend, Chase, so we can get a little bit more hands-on with it.
It's just so tough because there are so many of these games out right now.
There are
people are making these all the time, and there are a lot of good ones. And it makes it really difficult when you have something that might just be a fine one, and it's right. The same. It's kind of the same thing that I'm having with the that SNK versus Capcom card game. It's I could just play the game I know that I'll like.
Right.
And it's do I want to play this Reverie Tactics game, or do I want to just go and replay Fire Emblem Echoes Shadows of Valentia? And the answer is I
keep thinking about Fire Emblem. I'm just man, this just does not have the weight there. We'll talk more.
But also, it doesn't have the money, and it doesn't have the expertise that a group like Intelligent Systems has had making these games for decades. So I get it. It's tough.
Yeah, it's not. I'm not upset that I'm playing it by any stretch, and I don't want that to be the vibe that I'm giving off. There's a few things that I question about. There's not a spot back in your camp that you can go to just heal all, and so it's hard because if you don't have there's items and currency that you can craft with the chef at your camp to get potions to heal you. But fuck me, man, they're few and far between, and I feel I'm playing this on the normal, the recommended setting. I don't know if that gets easier on story or not, but yeah. So we're gonna quick look at this weekend. It might go up next week. It might go up 2 weeks from whenever. But Reverie Knights Tactics, PlayStation 4, which you can play on your 5 if you have one. Switch. I'm playing this on Steam right now. I don't know if it's on Xbox or not. It might be. I think it is on Xbox also. I think it's on everything. So check that out if you get a chance. All right. I did something
My God.
Uh-oh.
that I've thought about for a while,
Uh-huh.
and I've had some things popping up on various social networking that's encouraged my decision.
Is this TikTok's fault?
TikTok certainly helped out with my decision to do this.
Nothing good
Uh-oh.
ever happened by being influenced by TikTok.
Boys,
What'd you do?
I've been playing Star Citizen, and
Why?
because
Why would you do
it's
that?
really fucking good. It's very fucking good.
That game's not out, is it?
No.
Isn't it still,
Apparently, it's more of a game now than it was the last time I read about it.
But
still,
holy
I feel a lot better about playing Genshin Impact now.
you should.
All right.
Yeah.
So
At least it's not Star Citizen.
Bobby's participating in an actual Ponzi scheme.
I don't know what I'm doing. I'm having a great time.
Oh, man. Can you imagine if they announced that game now, how much NFT bullshit would probably be in that game?
Oh my God.
I mean, there's still time. There's still time for them to throw NFTs in this, but
I mean,
doesn't this scam thing? I mean, it's not a scam. It's a game. It's potentially coming out at some point, but the amount of money
500 million
put into this thing
as of last year
for essentially nothing. Like that game is not out.
There's a lot. I have played.
All right, enlighten us, Mr. Star Citizen.
So what?
Citizen of the Stars.
What my two cohorts here are alluding to is that this game is in an alpha state, and the way it works is it has its own launcher. You go and you download it. It's $45 to get a pledge, which gets you the game. Now that also includes three games. So you've got the Star Citizen experience. There seems to be like a PvP focused FPS into that, and there's one other one. But
they have a single player thing that they've also been working on forever.
That's the one that I'm really focusing on, like the true Star Citizen experience here. This is I would say it's not fully a sim. Like if we're talking about it from like a known quantity, right? So like let's use Forza, just because that's a household name around here. So you've got the Forza Horizon, which is far over on the arcade side of things, and then you got Forza, is it Motorsport, right? Is that what it's called? Over here, which is more of the sim based. I would say that we're probably leaning a little bit further to the motorsport side of things on this one.
Okay.
What about an Elite Dangerous?
So
I'm looking more towards like games in the genre. I understand where you're going with the Spectrum thing, but is this a No Man's Sky?
There's definitely things in this that you would recognize from a No Man's Sky. Primarily the interplanetary travel, the type of like you're going to spaceports and hubs and you're interacting with NPCs sometimes and trading and getting technology.
You're getting out of your ship to do these things.
So this game has like a whole, yes, you are out of your ship and getting into your ship, and then you're branching out and you're doing things. So there's really like three types of missions that I've encountered so far on this, which are like there's basically you could be more of a pirate, you could be more of a bounty hunter, or you can be more of a trader. This is really if we're breaking this down to task. And I have found immense joy in being the best interplanetary delivery boy I can be.
Oh yeah, we already knew that's the path you would have gone down.
Yeah.
But it's really so like you've got your dashboard, let's just call it that for this show tonight. And in that you've got a breakdown of like here's contracts that you can pick up. And it is something that you can multiplayer with. So like I can share those contracts out, but there are delivery contracts where it's like you're going to go, this is going to be like a 4-part delivery. You're going to grab this package here and you're going to take it here and grab one from there and take it here. And you're going to go back and forth. The entire time, like there's systems that you're managing. There are some light survival things with it, but mostly for your ship. The big thing to note is that they do insurance on ships. And what I mean by insurance on ships are if I crash my ship somewhere in the galaxy that's away from where I had set my home base to be, I will spawn in a med bay at that home base without my ship. I will also have lost all of my belongings that were on me, and if I crashed my ship, causing my death, I would lose everything in my ship. But you can go to
Sounds fun.
You can go and call your ship back through insurance, and the way that they do this is it's a timer. So for any of the early game stuff you get, it's like 200 seconds, and they get your ship brought to you. You can expedite that and essentially pay whatever the timer equivalent is in a currency. So it's like 200 coin if you can't wait. But the bigger the ships get, the more risk there are. And the game really is like, you should only take with you what you want. And so you've got your personal inventory, your ship inventory, and then every location that you go to has a massive inventory that you can put stuff into. So what I've been doing is on my delivery runs, I just go and I loot, and I fucking love it. I scourge they're like all the shit that they have there. I'll find armor, weapons, and guns. I'll put that onto my ship. I'll go and make a pit stop back at my base, drop everything off in that inventory, deliver the package, and just do this. And so I'm trading shit. But the other thing I'll do is I'll probably pick up a mercenary shift in between runs, where you're out of your ship, gun loaded, first person shooter, and these mercenary things will be like, hey, there's a group of pirates that are going to be taking over or trying to take over this facility. We're going to pay you this flat rate, but for everyone that you kill, we're going to give you a bonus. And then whatever you find on them or at the location, that's yours. So I'm making money on the side doing that. I'm getting all the gear and loot, stacking my ship in my backpack, which I've upgraded to carry more loot. And then as I'm making my runs, I'm just doing trades and making money this way. And so like eventually I'm going to get multiple ships. I'm going to keep one in storage. I'm going to have a trade route ship that I'm using for these big hauls and delivering and doing this stuff. And I'm going to have more of a starfighter for doing bounties and doing mercenary work. And I fucking...
you just described a job.
I know. I love this.
Like, you're not playing a game. You're just doing a job virtually.
I mean, that's not so different from when I would spend an hour trying to get out of mud and SnowRunner.
Right.
It's a very in space.
But the feel that you get with these ships, so like if I come up to a port, depending on what kind of territory it is, like I have to ask permission to land there. So I'll get on my comm system and like ping that I want to land, and they're like, okay, yeah, you're clear. You'll land here. The one thing that was really fucking crazy was I was coming in pretty hot to this facility last night. I've been doing a lot of runs. I was doing a lot of deliveries. And all of a sudden, this thing's like, you need to slow down. I'm like, I'm going, like, because I'm very cautious about driving. Like, I don't want to ruin my ship. I'm like, I'm going, like, well below the recommended level that my ship can handle. What the fuck's going on? And it was two space cops. These fucking mouth breathers pulled me over. And they're like, we just want to make sure that you're doing what you should be doing. Don't move your ship. We're scanning it. I'm like, okay, fine, scan away. Like, I've got some fucking armor from these pirates I just iced back on this other planet, who, mind you, their bodies are literally in negative temperatures rotting. But I'm taking their gear with me, and they're like, oh yeah, everything checks out. You're good to land. I'm like, yeah, fuck you. I'm going to land anyway. So I go up there, I land my ship, take my stuff, unload it, grab a hot dog while I'm back at the port, do a little shopping, find some new fucking paint for my armor, hop back on. It's not, ain't much, but it's honest living this out here.
Are you sure you just don't want to become a long haul trucker? This is all I'm hearing from Bobby. Dude, is that you're in the wrong line of work.
This is space Euro truck.
I'm having so much fun with it. And I will say that one of the things that like they've done very well is the sound design. So breaking atmosphere in your ship and like taking off, like they do this condensation buildup or like melting off, like it's nuts, man. Like I'll be taking off, doing a late shift, look over to the right, sun's rising up in this system. I'll look out my ship and see it just fucking hit the fucking thrusters and take off. It's wild. It is wild. This game is wild.
Bobby, so you said this game is in alpha.
Yeah.
One, what still needs to be done?
I don't know.
And two, when the fuck does this thing actually come out?
Never. I don't think it ever does. I think that it just stays in this perpetual state.
It's been 10 years since
Dude,
they started
there's
that
so
Kickstarter.
much. Anybody who's sitting back right now and be like, well, Star Citizen's not finished. When are they going to finish? There's so much in this fucking video game. Like, I don't understand. Like, there's so much here.
I think it has more to do with the stuff surrounding it and the promises that were made and the fact that they were selling people these multi-$1,000 ships that didn't even exist in the game yet. And they're just raking in all this money. And yes, there's stuff for you to do, but it is nowhere near the breadth and the depth that was promised whenever they announced this game 10 years ago.
I get that.
And that is why
I get that.
people make fun of Star Citizen, is because it's like, to the outside observer, it looks like a scam. Like, it looks like this company is putting out the bare minimum to keep from getting sued by people that gave them money or something. Yeah, I don't know. Like, look, I'm very glad you're having a good time, but I think you also should be able to understand why people deride and mock this game.
Sure.
But
there was also an extremely long time that you'd open up Google and it would say beta on it. It's like, you guys aren't in beta.
Yeah,
we've all been using you for a decade at this point. You guys are out. So, what more is there to do?
I mentioned this in our group chat with my cousin. He's playing this also. And this is the last thing I'll say on it, because I mean, I could talk for a while about what's going on with this, and it's probably not good for anybody, but...
You have.
I will say this, that I don't know if I've had like something that I've experienced that I've been as okay with the mundane that this is at times. And I say that in a way, like, I'm playing this in a way that I'm very satisfied by.
What are you saying? Like, all the games you love now are about the mundane. Hard Space Shipbreaker is just mundane.
It's just a job.
But
it's awesome.
I guess what I'm trying to say here.
Power Wash Simulator. That game is nothing if not the mundane.
That's true. But what I'll say is, I've played a lot of games lately in the last year and a half about space traversing and like having a ship and being in space. And there's something. I almost treat this the same way I treat my own like physical car, that like I'm so terrified of losing my ship and like the consequences of crashing, that like if you would have been a new Babbage where I've started at 12 o'clock one night, you would have seen me idling above a city trying to map out where the fuck to go. And like trying to like Austin Powers my ship around these skylines, trying to fucking not crash. And it was one of those things where it's like the ship is responding very much how I would be in that moment. Like, oh fuck, I'm lost. Let me turn the radio down so I can get directions better, figure out what I need to do here, map out where I should go, find where I need to park, get out, walk around my ship, make sure it looks okay. All right, kick the tires a bit, and then go inside and have the hot dog that I talked about.
Hey, I get it. My favorite part of Grand Theft Auto is following all the traffic laws. It's a great time.
To each their own, right? But it's a weird time to be on the internet, and I can finally say I've done something done with my PC. Yeah. So I'm playing Star Citizen.
There you go.
Great. Johnny, let's look forward to next week where Bobby tells us he started playing EVE Online.
Oh, man.
I do have.
I downloaded that game.
I have. I think I have that.
I did not start it.
Is that the one that just did the update where you can now be out of your ship? Is that Eve?
I don't.
There's like a DLC that you're first person shooter.
Eve is like,
so Eve had a first person shooter, like a separate game that somewhat tied to the main game. I don't know if that's still a thing anymore.
I don't think so.
Yeah, and I also had a VR experience too at one point.
Yeah.
But yeah, Eve sounds like your space trucking final destination. Like that's you're gonna get to that at some point.
That's the one that has like the massive battles in it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm more of a delivery guy than a fighter.
I'm waiting.
Oh, there's plenty of that too. Like you can get hired by the real life corporations that have built up in that game, and you can actually do real jobs.
Elite Dangerous had the Odyssey DLC, which is a full on like it looks like Mass Effect almost.
Yeah,
man,
not quite the same.
When you get into Dwarf Fortress,
I don't know, man. I'm not gonna. Nothing's off the table from what I can tell.
Johnny, tell us about the cool games you've been playing.
Oh man, so just very brief Analog Pocket update. I've been playing a lot of my Pocket still.
Oh, you went out of order.
I did. Sorry
Damn
about that. I started Advance Wars, which I've never played before, and that game's good, Chase. That's a very good video game. You should play it.
Wow.
Whoa!
I know.
Wow.
Fuck you! I have.
It was
Wow.
a joke. It was a joke. Yeah, not a whole lot to say. It's intelligent systems, makers of Fire Emblem, and I hope that these remakes do well because I would love to see them make a whole new Advance Wars. We'll see.
Sure.
I mean,
at the same time, though, like even if the reboot camp is bad, I can plug an analog pocket into
That's
the
true.
television.
You still have that.
Play these
That
games.
is true.
And they're still perfect now.
Yeah,
like the pixel art is so good.
It's so good.
It's probably still like even the only thing that the new game can do is some type of extra content or some better online stuff, which I'm probably not all that interested in anyway. Yeah. Even if I play the reboot camp, I'm probably still gonna go back and play those original games and like them better.
When's that one come out? By the way, the reboot
next month.
I thought it was March.
March.
Okay,
it's February, March. I think it's March.
Soon.
Yeah, I still love my analog pocket. Still playing Pokemon. Playing lots of weird ROMs. I started the Elf game because I was just going through my folders on my Easy Flash. I was like, oh shit, there's an Elf game. That game's bad. Don't play that game.
Elf game? Elf Bowling?
It's just Elf. From the movie
Elf. Okay. Elf Bowling's a classic.
It only has one button control. So it's in a lot of ways it's like Genshin not Genshin Impact. Battle in Wonderworld.
Sure. Yes. Yeah. Those games are the same.
Very, very directly influenced.
Hell yeah.
That game. But yeah, as you guys know, I got a new puppy, so I haven't been playing a ton of new stuff. It's been a lot of old stuff, like Forza and Halo. But a couple days ago, I did pick up a new game that I saw one Patrick Klepet talking about on Twitter, and that is a game called Vampire Survivors. It is $3. It is only on.
Too much.
What? Oh, I guess I could play this on.
It's free on a browser.
Okay, all right, fair enough. But yeah, it's $3, and it has overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam.
I checked it out last night too.
I would describe this as an almost idle game. I think is maybe.
It's pretty hands-on.
I mean, you're moving around a lot.
You're moving around, but still,
it is a methodical Devil Daggers. That's what this is.
All you're doing is using WASD or your arrow keys, and
does it have controller support when you get the Steam version?
Mm-hmm. Yep, okay. It does have controller support, but I'm
not sure if the browser version does. So that might actually be worth my $3.
Yeah, I did test that out, and it does work with a controller. I prefer it with a keyboard. And the whole premise of this game is you are a character. There are 5 or 6, I think. I've unlocked 3 of them so far. Each one has their own unique ability and type of attack. And
How long have you played this game?
I don't know, a couple hours.
Really?
Okay. Because I just started playing it like a couple of hours ago, and I've got 5 characters unlocked. Like this game is cool as shit. I
spent a lot of money upgrading my character. So I've got the main guy, and then a woman who's like a spellcaster, I think, and then a guy who throws knives. And this game fucking rules. It's cool as hell.
It's very cool.
And the whole it's set. It's these it reminds me of the overworld in the old Dragon Quest games a little bit. Where it's very it's just a green, and then here's some gray that signifies a pathway. Here's some braziers, and
it's really simplistic tiles.
Yeah,
and you see the grid on the screen. It is not a very pretty game.
And it runs. The only way it runs is windowed. You can you can maximize the window, but you still got your menu bar and everything. So it's very
You can full screen the browser version.
okay. Yeah, there's not even an option to do that in the game. Like there are no options for like borderless window, as you might expect from most other PC games. But that's fine.
That's really fucking neat.
Yeah. So you start on this map, and there are bats flying at you, and depending on the character, the direction you're facing might affect your attacks or the last input that you put in. Like for the guy that I've been using the most since I unlocked him, and you're killing enemies, and they're dropping these little. It looks like a jewel of some kind, like an emerald or something, and that is XP basically. So you're picking those things up, you're leveling, and you're picking one of 4 to 5. Let's call them boons, like in Hades.
Yeah.
And it can be an upgrade to an existing power. It can be something that restores health. It can be a new weapon. And that's it. Like you're leveling, and you're unlocking new abilities or powers. Sometimes there are I guess higher level or more like elite enemies on the map that have a purple glow around them. I've seen one that was a different color that was even more difficult to kill. And when they die, they drop a chest. You open the chest, you get some money, and I've gotten up to 3 different items out of the chest.
Yeah.
And yeah, it also reminds me of Risk of Rain a little bit with the way that the power-ups work, in that some of them
the way they keep stacking and
keep stacking, keep doing more damage. I think the garlic is maybe my favorite power-up.
It's so good.
Because in part of this, so there's these enemies just following you around wherever you go. Occasionally,
it's a twin stick shooter, but you're
without
not
the sticks.
You're not actively shooting. Yeah, sure. Like and that's and you're not actively. In some instances, you're actively aiming, but depending on the power-ups you have, sometimes you even aren't doing that.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Because the attacks come out automatically, like on a timer,
and you can reduce those cooldowns.
Yeah. So like let's just going through some of the power-ups. You talked about the knives guy. I think that one's probably the most simplistic in that this guy throws knives at the last direction he was facing. He was moving towards. So those knives will just come out and they'll hit whatever's in front of it, and that's it. So you can kind of move around and hit whatever. The first guy you start with is a whip guy, because these are all like they just filed off the Castlevania name from this.
They're like vampire survivors.
This has wall chickens. This has it has all the Castlevania stuff you like from the ideas there. But like that guy starts with a whip, and the whip only attacks directly in front of him, but only horizontally. So this is a top-down game though, so you're moving. You can't hit things that are coming from from above you because you only attack horizontally.
Back and forth.
Yeah,
it's like
the back's an upgrade. You have to get an upgrade for him to swing back too. So at the start of that, you need to really work on placement to hit the enemies in the right way. Yeah. But then some characters, you mentioned the spellcaster, they just shoot like a bolt of lightning, whatever, some spell thing
at the nearest enemy.
At the nearest enemy. So that one, it's a little slower, it's a little weaker than the whip, but you don't have to try to work around aiming it because it's going to automatically aim for you. And then other people have different styles of attacks. I unlocked a skeleton that has this bone attack that will just ricochet off enemies. That's kind of cool, but he is like, it comes out incredibly slowly, and he just sucks for the beginning of the game. But he's got an ability that every 10 levels he gets extra projectiles of whatever you have unlocked. So it just gets to the point where, like you mentioned, once you get those level ups, you can choose bonus weapons, bonus things. Yep. So you can have his bone being thrown out, but then he also has knives that he throws out.
Or are you just unlocking them through currencies, or how are you doing that?
It's just through level ups. Like once you level up, it'll say, here are 3 perks, boons, whatever. Which
pick
one
of these 4 things?
No,
say,
like the
okay,
characters, the new characters, the unlocks there.
Oh, there is a currency that you get by
Mhm.
playing the game, that you get by unlocking chests
Got
or
it.
breaking the braziers that sometimes have coins in them, and then you can
Yeah.
use those coins to either spend on new characters or, as Johnny did, to go into a different menu of
And
global
yeah,
buffs.
permanent
That
upgrades to your
Yeah.
characters.
So like I
Um,
unlocked a permanent upgrade that gives all of my attacks a slightly bigger area of effect. So now when I go into the game every single time I play, I already have that unlocked, and then it
yeah,
just keeps going from there.
so yeah, having some permanence there is nice. It does let you feel like, hey, even though this is the same map, same run, essentially, I'm still progressing. I'm unlocking new things.
A little like Rogue Legacy in that way,
Yeah.
where it's not a complete roguelike, but because you are getting some bonuses after
Right.
Yeah.
each one. But you are-
The highest level I've made it is to 20 so far, and it's
I didn't track level. I got to around like 15 minutes.
Okay.
That's as long as I've
Yeah,
got to go.
I played on my lunch break today and almost was late getting back to work but thankfully my run ended in time. But there's a Bible basically that you can get that just spins around you.
Yep.
So
As
I
the
had
Bible
garlic.
does.
I had the
Yeah.
Bible. I was throwing axes.
If you power it up, you get multiple Bibles. Like
Yeah.
I've had four Bibles just spinning around doing
Every
their
version
thing.
of the Bible around Chase.
Exactly.
There's,
King James gonna fuck you up.
There's a fire wand that shoots out 3 fireballs to start. I think you can upgrade to 4, but I cast it and I was just walking south and I was just following these fireballs as they were slowly spacing out and just mowing down enemies. And there's lightning, and the lightning you can upgrade to like, hey, it does 100% more damage on like the 3rd or 4th upgrade, I think. And I don't know, it's really cool. It's so simple.
And it's really slow too. Like
Yeah.
you're purposefully incredibly slow. It does feel about like those old Castlevania games in terms of walk speed. You can get items that make you run a little bit faster.
Yeah, it's like 10% faster, I think, with each upgrade.
Yeah. But it is not a fast game, and I like it about that. I like that about it, where it is. I kind of said methodical devil daggers, and I think that's really apt in that you are threading the needle of you got zombies and skeletons and bats flying around, but you can kind of kite them in specific ways and then thread that needle to get through them. There will also be different times where this ring of kind of piranha plants come around you and they try to box you in, and you can do a lot of damage to one of them and try to break through that line, or
Just
eventually
walk in a big circle.
just kite enemies around and hope that you expend enough time where they just kind of go away, and then eventually you get to a point where they just start throwing tons of shit at you. Like here's just a billion skeletons and ghosts and bats and things that are just flying.
Oh man, when the swarm of bats fly into you and you have garlic and they just melt.
Yeah. It's great. I had the garlic powered up by like 5 times at one point, so it is a pretty huge radius around my character.
It's like the barbed wire.
So much damage. Yeah. Exactly. But I was just walking around like I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I'll walk wherever I want because I was fine, and then it was bigger enemies that all showed up at the same time. And
so occasionally you'll get temporary power ups. So I've gotten one. It's like the spicy curry in Smash Brothers, where I'm just like breathing fire, basically. I got another one. So you don't always have time to go back and collect all the jewels that you missed. I got this one power up that pulled in
them all,
every single one, and I leveled up. Like it was like bang, bang, bang.
I got back-to-back ones. I got one that was basically just clears the screen, everything that's on your visible part of the screen.
Yeah, I got that one.
Because it also scrolls around. Like it's if you keep walking to the right, you're eventually going to come back through what was the left side. and it kind of keeps rotating that way. But I had one that cleared the screen, my visible screen, and then I got the other one right after it that attracted all those jewels to me, and it was pretty nuts. Where it's just like, oh shit, I just leveled up instantly. That was so awesome.
Yeah.
This game is really good.
It's very good.
This isn't fair because I think it's the first 2022 game that I've played this so far. But it's the best 2022 game I've played this far, and I think it's gonna. I keep hearing good things about Pokemon now, which I don't believe, but I think Pokemon's gonna have a run for its money to be the best game of 2022 so far, because this game fucking rules, and I just want to play more of it.
Yes.
Well,
and that's Vampire Survivors.
Yeah, it's really bad because now I've got 2 browser games loaded up that I just cannot delete my tabs of because I want to play them all the time, and that's Super Auto Pets and this. Or it's like I just can't.
You're in a bad way, man.
I
have 2 permanent tabs on my Chrome here, and they're just not going away because I don't want to stop playing them.
Well, let's switch over and hear about some of the news, and we can go from there. Johnny, ready to fire off the casual report?
Yeah.
Maybe we just do like a couple news stories. Like we're getting a little late, and no offense to Johnny, I don't think there's a lot of very good news this week. There's a lot of kind of like Fallout news from the Microsoft Blizzard Activision stuff.
Yeah, so actually 3 of these are directly related to Activision Blizzard. We can run through those pretty quickly. So the testers at Raven that I think like almost like something like 30 people got laid off by Activision. They voted to form a union, and Activision.
How'd that go for them?
Activision refused to recognize their union. That was the latest that I saw. So
didn't they even split them up?
They busted it up. They reorganized them, and that's cool.
So
things are going great.
Yeah,
Microsoft fixed everything.
It did. It's all good.
Microsoft can't do anything with them until
they have zero sway over this
or
right
whenever
now.
the fuck the deal.
Eventually,
I would assume
not a great start.
A monolithic corporation like Microsoft also would not be thrilled with some of their employees trying to form a union. Blizzard announced they're making a new game, whole new IP. It's a survival game. So
great. It'll be out in 2030.
Exactly. They made a short blog post. Blizzard is embarking on our next quest. We're going on a journey to a whole new universe, home to a brand new survival game for PC and console. A place full of heroes we have yet to meet, stories yet to be told, and adventures yet to be lived. A vast realm of possibility waiting to be explored. I think the thing that Blizzard was always kind of known for was taking these existing genres and refining and perfecting them and making them the best versions of those things. And I don't know.
Lately,
not so much.
Yeah.
And their overarching history,
okay.
that is the thing that's why people love Blizzard so much. Is because
their Diablos, their Warcrafts, their Starcrafts.
Yeah. So that's literally all this is. Like this must be in like pre-production because they're hiring programmers and designers and people for it. That was all part of that blog post was some job
What games does Blizzard still have in development right now? What are
Diablo
they
4?
Working on?
Yeah.
Diablo 4. Overwatch.
Diablo Immortal.
Yep.
That's the mobile one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I assume some sort of WoW expansion.
Yeah. Sure, there's always WoW
in development
going on.
Rock and Roll Racing 2.
Dude, don't even. Don't even tempt me like that.
Yeah. I don't know. It's I think that it's I don't know. I don't know how to feel about this.
It's just weird. I mean, there's nothing to feel about this because it's not going to come out forever.
Yeah.
Because they just announced it now. it's
I think it's
Yeah.
just more so with everything that's happened with them coming
Sure.
out and saying, "Hey, we're making a whole new game."
They're trying to get
Like
some
that-
How
news
do you
out there
feel
that's
about
good.
anything at Blizzard these?
Yeah,
at this
like
point?
any thing that can be cast in a positive light is probably like the people that still work there. You know, many of whom I assume are good people. You know, they need a win. They need
They
something
need a
that's
big win.
yeah. Finally, the next few Call of Duties will be on PlayStation, and I have to assume that is because of co-marketing deals that have had the ink dried on them for a long time that Microsoft doesn't feel like trying to break.
Yeah, I mean, again, this Microsoft deal doesn't even go through,
Until
even if it
next
does
summer.
happen.
Yeah.
For a ways out. So
Mhm.
things aren't going to immediately change at Activision with
Yeah.
with like a snap of the finger.
Right.
And part of that is continuing to put Call of Duty on PlayStation, and there's still a lot of speculation on whether they would even take it off for all the different reasons that you could
Mhm.
potentially leave it on and make more money.
Or yeah, maybe this is a way for them to say, "Hey, we're not anti-compete. You know, you can still get Call of Duty on PlayStation."
I still think, I mean, we talked about that could become a download from Game Pass on PlayStation.
Eventually, sure, but the way that this is written, it's like no, it's going to be a PlayStation release of this game. So maybe in like 5 years, we'll see a Game Pass app on PlayStation, but I don't know. Sony's very proud. I don't know how likely that is to ever come to pass.
I mean, you can be proud, but 5 years down the line, we don't know what the gaming landscape's going to look like.
Also true.
Sony could have made some stupid remark and tried to, charge $600 for their console and tell people to get
Who
a
would
second
do
job.
that?
I mean, they would never do such a thing
Wow.
like that, I'm sure.
Wow.
Just like
Wow.
Microsoft wouldn't also try to make a TV tuner that's also
my
a game
God.
console that would only
Whew.
let you play your discs. They wouldn't let you play used games.
Learn to read
Anyway,
the room, guys.
nobody would ever do bad things like that.
You wouldn't download a car.
Johnny, is that the news?
EA is considering making Battlefield 2042 free to play to some degree. That's
I'm good.
which is the least
Fine.
surprising thing I've heard.
That still sounds like it costs too much.
Wow.
Yeah. I still have not played that game,
I think you're okay.
despite owning it.
Well, Johnny, if we just want to sit here and talk about all the games we owned that we haven't played,
We'll be here
haven't
all night.
started, yeah, I'm going to be here for a
When
very
Chase
long
just pulls
time.
out like a ledger of all the.
Oh my God.
I could throw a rock and hit 8 games that I haven't played that I own.
It's fine. It's you're a preservationist.
Always the preservationist. Johnny, thanks for taking us through the news, and both of you, thanks for breaking down the games. We had a lot of fun. I mean, we had a deep dive last week. We didn't talk about the games we were playing, so a little bit more to get out this week. Always happens when we do that. Let's talk about what we've done so far and what we plan on doing. If you want to follow along with us on some of the places we're going to be going to, you can do so by following those links in chat or checking out thecasualhour.com, twitch.tv, which is where you're at right now, but twitch.tv/casualhour and youtube.com/casualhour. This week, we kicked off a brand new series called Best Buddies over on Casual Mondays, where Chase and I finally got Portal 2 off the ground, and boy howdy, that game's harder than I remember it being.
Yes. Same.
But as we teased, we are going to take a break already and play some anime and show off Chase's new lady friend on Monday with Genshin Impact. We did put up a quick look. I talked about Nobody Saves the World on my segment. That quick look is live right now. You can find it on our YouTube channel, so go do so. Tonight, we broke down the games we've been playing. We covered a few things breaking in the news. Tomorrow, there's a really chilled out game called Islanders that we've got a quick look for going up on our YouTube page. And Friday night, a very special Casual Friday, where the whole gang's going to get together and we're going to do I think it's going to be more of like a commentary on what this new Pokemon game is. We're going to fire up my playthrough of it, and the Pokemaster Chase, the Poke Apprentice Johnny, and the Poke Slob me will get together and talk a little bit about, is this an evolution of the genre? Is this a game that we were hoping it to be?
Yeah, let's see what that is. I know Bobby and I are also talking about doing a proper quick look at that, and we'll see if that's even necessary after what we show on Friday. Maybe Friday is just kind of the quick look, but we'll see. I'm very interested to see what that game is. Reviews have been coming out. It's been getting relatively positive reviews.
Surprisingly positive, yeah. I've seen
and yet
some perfect scores from a few outlets.
I look at the art of that game, and I look at the trailers and I go, there is no way that this game is that good, and I'm not even sure if it's good at all. We'll see.
You cannot skate out of here as the resident Pokemon fan.
Look, man, what has Pokemon made recently that has been good?
The MOBA.
Pokemon Snap wasn't all that great. Pokemon Unite might be the only thing, and they didn't even make that.
But still,
somebody else made that for them.
I would say that
Pokemon X and Y.
I feel
that's a long time ago, John.
I feel it's probably pretty safe for you. The man currently putting out a Pokemon series on his YouTube channel, which you can go to by following those links. And I would say that your tone can probably safely shift a bit. I do feel, based off of what I'm reading, seeing, hearing, and have been for like the last week, my overall Jedi showing up late, damn it. Hope you're doing good, friend. I think you're probably in a safe place to feel a bit more optimistic than once.
I'm reserving judgment until we see this thing on Friday. I have not purchased or pre-ordered this game at all. I'm happy to wait and see on this one. I've already got a Pokemon game that I haven't finished.
We're going to be playing that Friday night as a group here on twitch.tv/casual. I'm actually really excited for this format on Friday. I think having a discussion about the game and checking it out and really bringing, this will be the first time that we've really done that, where we bring our quick look format to a stream and talk a little bit more about the game in that format. I think will be really, really good. But Friday night, having all of us together to talk through it for our Casual Friday stream, we're really excited to check that game out. And
hey, come out, watch it with us. Help us ask your questions as we play.
Yeah, 100%.
I'll make sure that Bobby enables the anime ask me anime emote reward, because we didn't do one of those on Monday, and that's disappointing. So we need to get back to that, because Bobby loves anime. Oh man, Bobby, how many times are we gonna have to do it for our Genshin stream? We're gonna talk about anime the whole time. It's gonna be great. Can't wait.
It's going to be a lot of fun. So we'll break down that new Pokemon game. We want to be a little bit more informative on it. We're going to have fun playing it, of course, but we'll stream that Friday night, 10:30 here on the show.
Might not even be good.
Could be bad. Chase, I did tag you here in the chat for your stuff that you got going on outside the show. Why don't you bring us up to speed on what that looks like?
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff with Johnny, unfortunately. Johnny and I have been going through a Nuzlocke of Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, which are fine. They're not great, but they're fine games, and we're having a lot of fun playing them in this Nuzlocke format. And so a new episode of that will go out this Saturday, and it's exciting. Certainly, nothing bad happens.
Nothing, right?
We know we've been great, and we'll continue to be great, and everything will be fine.
It's all fun.
And then also, I have a handheld video game podcast I do called Gamers on the Go. Haven't had an episode out for a while, but I'm about to change that, because Johnny and I are going to be recording an episode of that this weekend.
Yes, sir.
And we're going to be talking about Analog Pockets and go run down that system and
yeah,
where it came from
yeah.
and specs and our opinions, our early impressions of what that thing is. And we'll also talk about some games as well. We've got some original Game Boy games, some sports games that we're gonna chat about, and I'm excited for that. I was actually just listening to an old Retronauts podcast that was about the Game Boy's 30th anniversary, and they were talking about some of these specific games, and I learned some stuff that I didn't learn from my research. So it'll be fun. Listen to me tell you things that Retronauts told you 2 years ago. It'll be great.
I'm excited for that one. I can't wait to hear more about it. So we've got quick looks, we've got streams, we got a new series that we already have up, so go check the VOD for that. And then next week, we've already teased a little bit, but we've got a Genshin Impact stream planned for Monday night with Chase and I, which will be a blast. And then we've got a February preview that we've talked about on Wednesday night back here for the casual hour. We can't wait to hang out with you all. Plenty of reasons to do so, plenty of times to do so. Go check out Chase's YouTube channel. Follow along with that adventure him and Johnny are on. And if you do want to ever call in sick to your job and hang out with us during a stream, you won't hear us complain about it. So we wish you all the best. Take care of yourselves. Be safe. And we will see you back here Friday night for some Pokemon with the casual crew. Take care.